is it?
It's Little Nero, sir. I have your pizza.
Leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
Okay. Well, what about the money?
What money?
Well, you have to pay for your pizza, sir.
That a fact? How much do I owe you?
That'll be $11.80, sir.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Cheapskate.
Hey, I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 1, 2, 10.
Lovely cheese pizza just for me.
Hey guys, it's the Large Marge Sent Us podcast, your podcast where two sweeties talk about their favorite movies from the 80s and 90s. And that's it. I don't know. I had something clever, but it escaped me. Anyways, I'm Sweetie.
And I'm Sweetie.
And tonight we're talking about one of everyone's favorite Christmas classics. A little movie starring the one, the only Kevin McAllister, or Macaulay Culkin. It's Home Alone.
I'm home alone and my parents are there.
Oh, they're going to sing a song to the tune of the theme song. I'm home all alone. I'm all alone and sad. You sing it to the tune of the theme song. Okay. That can be a B-side, I guess. Anyway.
I'm home alone and my parents aren't there.
Oh, she's freestyling. Look out.
No,
look
you
out.
go.
Once upon a time in my giant house, I set a lot of booby traps.
Mine was, I'm home alone and my parents aren't there.
You can't pass off raps like that.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
No, it's not. I create one line of a
Home
rap
alone
and
and my parents aren't there. Too bad I'm by myself. I wish I had a bear.
I'm running around my house and combing my hair.
Good thing I bought some laundry detergent so I can wash my underwear.
I miss my parents. Just kidding.
Now we're singing. Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's
okay,
over.
it's over.
So
this, well, I mean, it was all right. Okay.
It's a B-side?
Oh, my God. Sorry. Cat action on the side. So anyways, this movie came out in 1990, directed by Chris Columbus.
Our favorite.
Written by John Hughes.
Yep.
Wow.
Our favorite.
So are they like buds? Like buddy buddies?
So I read in the trivia that John Hughes picked Chris Columbus to direct National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Another one we will probably be watching. And Chris Columbus did not get along with Chevy Chase. So he's like, hey, Chris, C squared, my main man, want to direct this other Christmas movie that I got in my back pocket. A little something called Home Alone.
But Chevy Chase wasn't in this, so why did it matter?
Did you listen to me at all?
Yeah, you said Christmas Vacation. He didn't get along with Chevy Chase. And Chevy?
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 Wait, what is it?
I don't know.
Chevy Chase? Wow, that like blows my mind.
Chevy.
Is it Chevy Chase? He was slated to direct Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. Yeah.
He didn't direct
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation.
Because he didn't get along with Chevy Chase.
Who did direct Christmas Vacation?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought he
Bob
did.
Shamanal.
You said he directed it, so I thought he directed it.
No, that's why. And Chris Columbus felt bad and was like, hey, or John Hughes felt bad and was like, Chris Columbus, you what? Like, direct this other movie that I'm involved in. Or he wrote.
Okay.
Anyway, this is how a star is born. A star being this classic Christmas film, which was actually underappreciated, or actually the stars of the movie did not think it was going to be great. They like read the script and whatever, and then like once the movie was finished, it ended up being like a huge success, and it made $500 million, which was the second biggest grossing film of that year, 1990. Name the first.
1990? Oh, you don't even know it?
No, I was going to give you a hint.
Oh. I don't get a hint.
I have to like act something out though, so I don't know if that's good for the viewers. Ready?
Oh my
Ghost.
Yeah.
You're good. Woo woo. Guess that wouldn't actually be charades because it
Don't
was
call
music.
us experts at that for nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So huge film at the time. So great to do a film finally that was appreciated not only today but in its time in the 90s. So let's get into this amazing plot of a film. It's the Sweetie Synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties. Kevin McAllister is one of 5 children. His parents and his aunt and uncle and cousins are headed off to a wild Christmas in France. Why? Because their uncle is rich, I guess. They can fly the entire family out there, which is like 11 people. The adults are on first class. They're like in this swanky apartment, and I don't know what these people do, but they make a lot of money apparently.
Who knows?
So
Not important.
eve of the night that they go away, Kevin's kind of bratty. He gets in trouble. His mom banishes him to the attic and is like, "You're in trouble." And he's like, "I wish my family was disappeared. Never saw him again." But she's like, "You don't mean that." And he's like, "Yes, I do." And then he goes to bed all angry and stuff. Bad luck, though. Storm happens during the night, knocks out the power, knocks out the alarm clocks. They oversleep.
Let's just say, perfect storm. How can you possibly leave your 8-year-old child home alone? Here's how. Perfect storm. Ready? Number 1.
6 easy steps.
6 easy steps. Number 1. The ticket. Kevin McAllister's ticket gets thrown away in the trash when he causes a ruckus in the kitchen. Tries to tackle his older brother who is making fun of him. Milk goes flying, Pepsi, the tickets. Watch out for the tickets. One ticket gets thrown in the trash.
Passports. They were concerned
And
about
passports,
the passports.
yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't even see like the tickets.
So one ticket thrown in the trash. Number 2, Kevin gets banished to sleep upstairs. Nobody remembers Kevin sleeps upstairs. He's all alone in like the creepy Creeperson attic. Number 3, Storm knocks out all the alarms. No alarms to wake up. Everyone's rushing in the morning. Another reason why it's easy to forget your child. Number 6. This is out of order. Number 4. This actually should have been number 3. Kevin was supposed to sleep upstairs with Fuller. Fuller is his cousin who wets the bed. He tells his mom he doesn't want to sleep with Fuller, so then has to sleep by himself. So he was sleeping with another kid. He probably would have made it on the plane. Next, annoying neighbor kid who strolls over, and when they're doing the head count, mistakenly gets
Counted
as Kevin. And finally, the parents are in first class. It's easy to miss your kids and not know where they are if you're not sitting in the same general area of the plane as your children. Boom, people. That's how you forget your child.
But then in the middle of the flight, she remembers. Panic ensues. They can't do anything about it because they're on a plane. Kevin, however, wakes up the next morning and is like, where's everyone? And he goes, wow, I made my family disappear. Because when you're a kid and you make a wish, it always comes true. And you're like, wow, the world is great. Until you realize, oh, it was just shitty luck. Yeah. So he's all excited. He eats a bunch of junk food, goes in his big brother Buzz's room, like opens his cool chest of shit.
Watches scary, violent movies.
Watches a violent movie.
Becomes a low-level shoplifter.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Buys
Buys some groceries.
Gets
So,
to
yeah.
pizza.
Unfortunately,
Go sledding.
Thank you. There's plenty of things to do when you're home alone, but unfortunately, there are 2 bandits, crooks if you will.
Side plot.
Yes, you are.
Joe Pesci.
Okay, shush. They're casing the street. They're like literally going to every house dressed as cops and pretending to be cops and being like, "Are you going away? Cool. What kind of security measures do you have?" And they're like, "Well, I have this and this and this and this. The combination on the safe is this."
Pretty smart.
Yeah, pretty smart. So the big house on the block is the McAllisters. It's giant. It's a mansion, essentially. Still unclear what their family does for a living and why they have so much money. That's the house they want to hit the most. However, when they go there, Kevin's there. So he smartly turns on the light in the basement so they think somebody's home, which kind of spooks them and they leave. However, they soon realize that no one is at that home except this 8-year-old boy all by himself. So they make a plan to attack the house. And Kevin's like, "Oh, hell no. I'm not letting that happen. This is my house. I'm going to protect it." So he rigs up a bunch of booby traps and really gets them, calls the cops, zip lines to the treehouse, beelines to another house that the robbers flooded.
You're really flying by this plot.
Well, he told me.
Flying by the seat of your pants.
Yes. And the cops come. Oh, the man in the snow shovel.
See,
we didn't talk about him.
This is when you miss
You
it.
said we talked too much on this plot, so I was trying to speed it up.
Yeah, well, but you can't forget key details of the plot. So, next door neighbor, this sort of creepy looking dude who shovels his driveway a lot, and he has this like garbage can full of ice. Older brother Buzz tells this story about how he's like murdered all of these people and hides them in barrels covered in salt or something, and the bodies disintegrate and like nobody finds them. So everyone thinks this old man is like this serial killer with a snow shovel or something in the neighborhood. So he's like constantly freaking Kevin out. In Kevin's defense, the guy like is like sort of creepy. He wears like kind of crazy clothes, never smiles. These like weird boots that he never ties together. They're these like crazy galoshes kind of boots. And it generally looks like kind of surly and mean. But they meet up at a church one day. As you do, Christmas Eve. Kevin wanders in there, and there's this beautiful choir playing, or these kids singing in the choir, and the man is there because his granddaughter is in the choir, and they have this nice little moment where the guy's like, "Oh, that's my granddaughter, but I'm not allowed to see her because my son hates me." And I forget what Kevin says, like, "Oh, I'm not a good kid. I feel bad." I think he just felt bad that he was like shitty to his parents or whatever. So they have this like nice little moment, whatever. Then at the very end, when the wet bandits, the burglars, finally catch up with Kevin and they're gonna bite his fingers off. Oof. The guy comes in with his snow shovel, coincidence, and beats them, and they pass out, and he rescues Kevin. So unsung hero, scary man with the snow shovel. And then as luck has it, is Christmas Day. Mom arrives. She's been traveling plane to plane, drove in a U-Haul from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Coincidentally, the other members of the family arrive at the same time, and everyone is reunited on Christmas Day.
And Kevin's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're home. I was a dummy. I should never have made you wish you were gone. I love you."
So much in the course of, I don't know,
in
how
those
many
few
days,
days,
but 3 days,
not
maybe?
long, yeah,
60 hours, I think.
Somehow enough time that he needed to buy groceries and do the laundry. Which I'm like, you must have enough clothes and have to really 3 days. Right. Calm down.
But so long story short, sweetie synopsis long. Don't speed it up. Don't say you don't want a family, because really you do. You will miss your family if they are gone. And being home alone is nice for a while, but then mean burglars might come and try to kill you, so not so nice.
And don't judge scary old men who shovel snow constantly and have bandaged bloody hands, because they might be nice.
Yeah, they might be cool.
They could be a molester, though. Like, it's always like a thin line. You're like
50-50 chance.
Yeah, so just still be careful. But yeah, so that's the flick. Good flick.
Good one.
I haven't seen this in a while, like the whole way through. I mean, I think I stumbled upon it on TV once in a while and catch some scenes. I wrote down a few questions.
You want to start with the questions, huh?
Well, I think questions are fun. So,
sweetie questions. Yeah.
So, what do you think they do for a living? Like, what is this nice house? Is it something like stupid and boring, like stockbroker, blah, blah, blah?
It's got to be in the financial sector. I mean, you can't take that much time off. If you're like a lawyer, I don't know. I feel like you're not taking that much time off. I think those financial guys make a lot of money, big wigs. I mean, undetermined. There's no work talk in this whole thing. You know that they have 5 children who, other than Kevin, look all of the same age and look nothing alike. Ridiculous.
Right. Are they all adopted? I'm confused.
And I want to also introduce a new segment I want to call, Hey, it's that guy.
Or girl.
Or girl. Hey, it's Elder Pete from Pete and Pete. One of the siblings. Haven't seen him in a dog's age. I've been overusing that phrase, so if you've heard it a lot recently in the podcast, I apologize.
We're going to do another segment called something.
Oh, well, I'll get to that later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on with your questions.
Okay, yeah. So is everyone adopted or what? We breached that. Okay, so we got like Pete and Pete, who's like pasty redhead, a dark-haired sister, medium level complexion, I would assume. Buzz, sort of dark hair, fat, like chubby face. Yeah. Kevin McAllister, blonde, not pale, and then the blonde pale sister. So it's very, and neither of the parents are pale. So that
I guess the
pasty
Pete and Pete brother like looks like the mom, Catherine O'Hara, so red hair, I guess.
But he's blonde.
I'm still upset that everyone is like the same age. I mean, I don't know. There just didn't seem to be a discrepancy about like the different ages there. And Kevin is the youngest at 8. So it's like one of those kids like 10? No. 11, 12? I mean, how old was Buzz the oldest? High school? I don't know. Something shady there. Mm-hmm. Bad casting job. Sorry. But, I mean, they were fine actors and everything, but weird. Anyways.
Do they have a cat or dog? If not, why do they have a doggy door?
Maybe they died.
Sad.
Yeah.
Those are all the questions I have.
Oh, okay.
I have another one, but I'll save it for Sweetie Scary Moments.
Oh, okay. Question. Who's got a question? I guess.
Talk about anything you want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just breezing through my notes. A lot of mine are like existential questions. So, yeah. So I don't have any like, I don't know about this. I guess the only one I had sort of was that aftershave part I never got. I never understood why he like, did he fake shave? I forgot. No. He just washed his face? Yeah. No, didn't he put shaving cream on? Yeah. And then so then he did fake shave. Yeah. But then he puts all this aftershave on, and it's, I guess, like, it's supposed to sting his face. That's why he makes that, and like the big thing known from this movie, like he's like, ah! And they play that as like a joke a couple times, and you're like, that's fucking not funny, and doesn't make any sense at all. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I didn't have like a ton of questions with this.
Talk about something else.
Yeah, no. I'm moving into it. Do you think, as a child, you also would have had an irrational fear of appliances / heating devices in your house? Go.
Or just the furnace? He seemed to be okay with everything else. Yeah, I mean, that furnace was scary. It was like a monster. I do remember there's like some moments in my life where I would turn the lights off in the basement and then run up the stairs because I was afraid that like a ghost or something was going to like grab my legs and pull me back down.
Basements are super scary.
Basements are very scary.
We had like a kind of a sketchy basement for a long time, and then our parents decided to turn half of it into a furnished basement. So then it became our like kid hangout room. So then the basement wasn't so scary, but when it was like, yeah, it was like all this weird stuff down there, like weird smells, like leaky stuff. Yeah, basements are weird. # basements are weird. Yeah, so that was my question number 1. Well, I guess these are kind of questions directed to you. What would be a list of the number 1 things that you would do if you were left home alone as an 8-year-old?
I mean, I was left home alone probably as an 8-year-old.
But like for days, like a couple days.
Oh, I don't know.
And you could just
I would
do whatever.
literally just watch TV and eat food. Like, I'm not.
I think you might have been left home alone, not for days at a time, but for long hours as an 8-year-old.
Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't adventurous enough to be like, I think a good idea would be to sled ride down the stairs and out into the snow pile. Like, I would never have done that. I was afraid of most things, so I wouldn't have done that. So probably just watch movies and eat food. Maybe watch like Skinamax. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I feel like we had like no boundaries as children, so it's not like we couldn't do any of that stuff anyway. It wasn't like our parents wouldn't let us eat like a bunch of ice cream or junky food or like watch bad movies. So it's, I don't know. I feel like we're not really the best people to answer that question because we weren't like really strict. I remember I went on this date with this one guy like years ago, and he was like, yeah, like really healthy eater, and he's like, yeah, my mom like only let us have like sugary fun cereal on our birthday once a year. And I'm like, dude, that sucks. I was like, you only had to get corn pops once a year? That's so sad.
better have been a good fucking bowl of corn pops.
I'm like, what did you eat the rest of the time? He's like, oatmeal. So sad. Anyway, so I think we were really lucky. So I want to thank you, Mom and Dad Dumas, for really letting us do whatever we want. Hey. Next question. What happened to the pizza guy?
My hope is that he freaked out, called the cops, and was like, there's a madman in that house with a machine gun. Please go and arrest him. Which he didn't, because if he did, maybe this all could have been avoided. And the cops could have been like, what's going on here? And
True.
And then
Crisis averted. The
Right.
pizza guy had done the right thing.
But he didn't. So no thanks to you, Pizza Man.
But I want to say that his role and the guy in that movie, if I was giving, if I was in charge of giving Oscars for movies in the 80s and 90s, I would have given that guy a nod.
The pizza guy or the guy in the movie?
I love the pizza guy. He's so good.
Yeah,
he's
he's
hysterical.
Our favorite line is where he's like, what about the money? He's like, what money? You have to pay for your pizza, sir.
And then the other part, I like when, I forgot he appeared twice. So he appears in the beginning when they order, 20 pizzas. And he's just, waiting around, and, the mom gives him this big tip. But then when Kevin is by himself, and, the pizza is $11.80, and he leaves him $12. And so the kid's, under his breath, he's like, cheapskate. But I'm sorry. I don't eat pizza because I have a gluten allergy. But how much are large pizzas these days?
These days they are $11.
Right. Why were those pizzas $12 each? And that pizza he got was small. That was like a medium at best.
Yeah. Plot hole.
I don't know. Was this near Chicago? Pizza's really expensive there? If you live in Chicago, give us a ring-a-ding. What's up with your pizza?
Plot hole.
Plot hole.
So, favorite parts?
Okay, so I think the parts that I laugh the most on are obvious answer. The burglars, when they come into the house, Kevin has set up all these basically booby traps for them. So puts ice on the stairs, rigs up a blowtorch to blow on one of the guy's heads when he opens the door, this metal heat iron thing to heat up the doorknob, nails sticking out of things, Christmas ornaments, blah, blah, blah. So they just get trashed. And it is a good couple minutes there of just solid laughter of those guys just getting beat on. To the point you're they should have died several times during this process. I mean, they fall down the stairs a bunch of times and just bounce back up. So good for them, but ouch. So I feel like that's an obvious favorite part. What do you think?
I always liked when he made the pretend party. So he needs to fool the burglars again and make them think that there's people living in the house. So he rigs up all these scary mannequins and stuff. And I wrote down, good thing your mom has hundreds of creepy as fuck mannequins lying around the house so you can make a weird scene of party and glee. So I always love that. Pretty ingenious. He's pretty smart.
He's so smart. I mean, he's sickly smart that the obvious rigging up all those obstacles and stuff for the burglars, but yes, the putting the mannequins in the window, when he goes grocery shopping, he's doing his own laundry. I mean, the whole point at the beginning of the movie is that he's this incompetent little kid who's such a brat. But really, that's not how he is at all. He just needed a couple days by himself to chill and be I can do this. So good for you, Kevin McAllister. We're proud of you.
What do you think he is going to be when he grows up?
I don't know. What would be I mean, obviously he has some sort of skills in terms of building engineer. I don't know, some sort of engineer probably, right? Yeah.
Or an inventor.
Yeah.
Maybe, something creative. So good for him. So my other favorite part is random, but it's when he steals the toothbrush at the pharmacy. I don't know why. There's something about that scene that really speaks to me. But I'm just confused why Colgate didn't have ADA approved on their toothbrushes at that time. Like weird. That was a big like plot. Like, is this ADA approved? I don't know. Yeah. Herb, guys, kid's got a question about a toothbrush over here. Is this American Dental Associate approved? I don't know.
Newsflash, lady. Lie to the 8-year-old kid. Like, who gives a fuck?
It's Colgate.
Just like, oh, yeah, sure it is. Like, wink, wink. Like, nobody cares. What I've always loved about that scene, which I found, like, so weird, is when there's, like, it just reminds me of Superman for some reason. Like,
that kid is Jimmy and Lois. It wasn't he?
No. No. It's my favorite show. I don't know. So, the story of it is that this scene, he goes in to buy the toothbrush, asks them, is this American Dental Pube, blah, blah. I just said pube. Approved. And the scary guy, with the shovel. I have a little cold. A scary guy with a shovel comes in, so Kevin like freaks out and like backs out of the store and then runs away with the toothbrush still like clutched in his little hand. The store owners freak out and they're like, Jimmy, stop that boy. And Jimmy is like a stock boy. And they do this like weird, like close up shot to Jimmy's face. And Jimmy like follows him and goes out the door. But isn't that heroic? Because he just sees a police officer across the street and he goes, shoplifter, shoplifter. Like, it's a fucking $2 toothbrush. Get over it, Jimmy. Like, so dumb. Anyway, so I always found that part so funny because it just was so like, they shoot to Jimmy like he's some like Superman, and then he doesn't even do anything.
They didn't even have Jimmy credited.
Jimmy is a loser. Yeah, but weird scene.
But like, what? He's stealing. It's not like he's stealing. What's the most expensive thing at drugstores? I don't know. Batteries, diapers. Like, it's not like he's getting away with like some crazy ass loot. Like, he's obviously something scared him. Yeah. It was old man Marley and his fucking boots he never ties up for like no reason at all. Yeah. And his creepy bloody hand. So he was spooked. He got scared. He's backing away. He's not like, oh, I'm plotting this.
It's not like he's a con artist where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna look like I'm like really scared and then run out the toothbrush and then no one will know.
And you should be glad that an 8-year-old cares about his dental hygiene.
Yeah. Very smart. So, yeah. One of my least favorite scenes. Okay. So, I have a real trouble with uneaten meals. Beautiful food that is just left to go cold and nobody eats them. So, Kevin, like, sets up the whole house, and you think he times it just right. He buys this delicious microwavable Kraft macaroni and cheese, heats it up, makes a little place setting, fills up a little crystal goblet with milk, and this is like Christmas Eve dinner. He gets ready, picks up the fork, puts one little fork tine into the macaroni and cheese. Clock goes off, 9 p.m.
And, like, cuts it. Like he's cutting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had, like, he had a knife, which is bizarre. But anyway, he can't eat it. Untouched macaroni and cheese. Where did that go? He probably didn't reheat it. Too traumatized. Did he have, like, a post I almost got killed macaroni and cheese feast? God. It's just really troubling. And I feel like we talked about another movie that, like, food had gone to waste. And we were like, no. Yes, Pee-wee's Big Adventure with the breakfast. Ugh, why, people? Why? Like, Kevin, why didn't you time it right? The guy was so smart and was, like, so on a schedule. And he just didn't time that well.
I think he stayed a little too long at the church talking with old man Marley. Yeah, cut that visit short next time. My least favorite part is that there's a fucking tarantula in this, which so upsets me. This is my second one this week, you guys, and it's traumatizing.
What was the other one?
Fuller House season 2. There's like a whole plot that revolves around one. I was so upset. Like, why do we need those in anything? So I just have a problem with it. I have a problem because I have this fear that like somebody I'm living next to, like in the apartment or like a house, has a pet spider. It gets loose. Who the fuck knows where it goes? This spider goes everywhere, and in like 2 seconds, he was in the basement 1 second, and then he's like upstairs hanging out in the bathroom the next. Like, what the fuck? I can't stand it.
Little suckers.
Like, don't get your kid a spider ever.
Well,
also, I always
was in a thing. I mean, it wasn't a thing.
Okay, don't climb the shelves and then break them so everything fucking breaks. Like, okay, so I always have these nightmares where for some reason I have managed to procure a pet spider and it's so upsetting that I'm like, why do I have this? And then I'm so upset and I need to get rid of it, but I don't know how, and it's traumatizing. So I'm very uneasy about the whole situation.
Well, here's my deal with spiders. Any pet that you can't take out and like play with seems like a waste of time. Like, why would you get a spider? And the poor fucking spider sits in this little, I mean, it was Buzz's spider, like this plastic little case. Like, that's fucking sad. You feed him flies or something? Like, what a sad life. Oh, sick. Anyways, I'm not that troubled by spiders, but I do love that part of the end where he drops it on Marv's face and this like great scream. Oh my God, I always crack up like so hard. Daniel Stern is too foony in it for me. Yeah, so good. So those are some of our favorite parts, some of our favorite lines. Yeah, we did most of the lines, right? I love the line. We talked about this a little like before we were watching the movie over GChat today. And I'm like, what's your favorite line? When the mom is at the airport and she needs to like bargain her way to get onto this plane because it's Christmas Eve or like the day before Christmas Eve and like all the flights are booked. So she's in Paris and this old couple is getting on. She like gets the little old woman and she's like, okay, I'll give you $500, a pocket translator, like basically selling everything on her body. And then she's like, oh, when the earrings, you like the earrings? Ooh, you like this ring too? And the lady's old husband is like, come on, like, Ethel, like, we got to get on the plane. And she's like, oh, like, Harry, like, this woman is offering us, like, 2 first-class tickets if we go on Friday, blah, 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 and, like, all this stuff. And he's like, no, like, we don't need them. He's like, she has earrings, a whole shoebox full of them, dangly ones. Why that like always sits with me. Dangly ones. He like makes a weird movement like he's wearing earrings.
Sometimes when I'm putting on my earrings in the morning and I pick a dangly pair, I'll be like, dangly ones. So it's a good line. But yeah, there's a whole subculture or like a Reddit thing about like the like why, like all these like why couldn't this? Yeah. So a big one is always like why can't the mom just rent a car herself and drive? So we thought maybe she's too tired. She's been up for 60 hours and there's no cars left. You know what happened in planes, trains, and automobiles. Like there's never any cars. But I mean that whatever Zippy or whatever that guy who rented the U-Haul.
Ziggy. Great cameo, by the way, by John Candy as the polka king of the Midwest. Awesome. I love that part. And I was reading in the trivia that all of his lines were improvised. So good. And I love that. And he's like, you haven't heard of us? Like, I forget what the band's called. He's like, I'm the polka king of the Midwest. And he's like, the Kenosha Kickers. And then he's like, you haven't heard of any of our songs? Polka, 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 polka. Twin Lakes polka? Kiss Me polka? The polka twist? We sold 634 of those albums. And she's acting like all surprised and like quote unquote impressed. So funny. And then he like tells us, he's like, oh, she's like, you ever leave your kid like home alone when you went on vacation? He's like, no, I haven't, but I left one in a funeral home once. All improvised, all that stuff. Wow. So good.
I have to say, sorry. I mean, that mom must have felt pretty fucking pissed when her whole family walks in. It's like, yep, we just took the plane that you didn't want to wait 5 hours for. And we got here right on schedule. Like, great. I struggled through that whole ordeal. She had to transfer in like 3 different cities.
She was up for like 5 days straight. Yeah. She looked pretty good, though.
She did. Still good.
Props to you.
Yeah. So I know that the big comedic scene is the slapstick humor at the end there, but that always kind of annoyed me because it just was too dangerous. Like, I feel like they would have died several times just by slipping on the ice and falling down the basement steps. He could have easily cracked his head open. I don't buy it. The blowtorch, come on.
No, that's
the burnt hand, sick.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense. What also doesn't make sense is that how does Kevin clean up all that stuff? With like one day and the parents come home.
Not even if he would have had to.
Hours. He had to stay up all night to do it.
Right, all night to do it. Well, so they came at 9 though, but how long was like the whole situation?
Let's say it got wrapped up by midnight.
So it gets wrapped up by midnight. He would have been pretty tired.
Yeah.
But instead would have had to be like, oh wait, let me clean up all these fucking feathers, tar in the basement, Christmas ornaments smashed, all this shit. I'm going to clean that up before I go to bed. No,
Yeah,
no, that didn't happen.
It's unrealistic and like sort of fucked up. But I guess you gotta just suspend your imagination. The elves came and cleaned it up. It was Christmas Eve. That's what happened.
Also, why doesn't he want to tell anyone that he did this awesome thing and like caught these burglars and is responsible for putting them in jail? Like, I would want to brag about that a lot.
Probably also be in the paper,
right? And you'd be like, I'm the one that put those guys away. But like, I thought it was very genius how he sent. So he calls 911 and says, "My name's Murphy." So he gives his neighbor's address and like lures the burglars there, and then
not knowing that they had already hit that house.
But what was his plan?
The basement.
What was his plan? Like if Old Man Marley hadn't stayed, like if they hadn't been at the top of the stairs, like waiting for him.
Yeah.
What was his plan?
I think he timed it like that the cops would arrive like when they got there too or something, but didn't realize that they had already robbed that house and they were the wet bandits. So they had like put stuff in the drain and left the taps all on, so the house was like completely flooded. So yeah. Didn't something, and like that's the one moment where he's genuinely pretty scared of those guys. Like obviously,
no, he's very scared in the beginning. Yeah. I was thinking, and like he's hiding under the bed. There's that like creepy scene where they're following him in the car, and he's like, it's like, ooh, scary. I wonder if there's how they changed those like comedies into horror movies trailers. They did like a recut of like Big doing that, Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
I wonder if they did one with this, because there's some parts that are so scary. Like even. I mean, I live in an apartment, so I don't have this problem, but when we lived in our house, I know you've had a few spooky moments where you're like, what's that sound? Like burglars. Like you still get so scared of that. And we did get broken into one time. It was probably the wet bandits.
I wish.
Ulterior motive. Just let the cats out.
Let's talk about what I told you, like the original script for this, the plot for the original script. So throughout this movie, or in the beginning of the movie, Sweetie's like, God, that Uncle Frank is like a Nazi. Like, he's so mean. He's also like the biggest cheapskate, and is just like the sketchiest dude ever. Original script, like supposedly, was that Uncle Frank had hired Marv and Harry to break into his brother's house and also kill Kevin. That doesn't make sense though, because like he didn't know that Kevin, like couldn't plan that Kevin would have been there. I don't know if the script was like they called Uncle Frank in Paris and was like, hey, like there's a kid here. And Uncle Frank was like, kill him.
Or if he orchestrated all of the bad luck. Like if he was like, oops, threw out the ticket in the trash. And then he like goes outside and like cuts the power line or something.
I mean, that could be an easily, like, obviously, like you said, much scarier movie, but would have been more like a thriller versus a comedy, right? And maybe, and like, if the kid was a little older, probably. I don't know if they would like do it to an 8-year-old. But I just thought that was interesting when, like what is that script writing process when you're like, you just change, like, Uncle Frank to, like, a freaking mastermind to, like, the dopey asshole uncle, but still.
Just thought of something. So, another thing that could have saved everything is if the parents had made friends with Old Man Marley, because he's their neighbor, too. They don't call him. He must not be in the address book.
Right.
If they did, he would have helped him. Although I'm sure Kevin would not have opened the door. It reminds me of like when Jehovah's Witnesses would come to our door and we'd hide in the closet. And he'd probably pull one of those. But like, why is everyone on vacation? Like everyone went away on that whole like, street of people that they knew. All went away. I don't know anyone that goes away for Christmas anymore.
That was kind of weird. Like that's
maybe it was a '90s thing, like pre 9/11 or something.
But like whole families don't usually travel together to go places, right? Like one person will come to see one family, but it's not like huge like flying on planes and stuff. Yeah.
The whole point of Christmas is like you're home, and you're
traveling.
cozy with your family. The house that the burglars flood, there's a Christmas tree with presents underneath it. Yeah. So they're not even going to be around.
Well, that one was that like little neighbor kid, and they're going to Disney World. So it sounded like they were going to Disney World for like the Christmas part, but they couldn't bring all their Christmas presents, obviously, to Disney World. So, like, okay, kids, we'll open them when we get home. I don't know why they would set them under the tree and, like, have it all set up. I mean, maybe some families do that. We didn't, like, stuff got under the tree on, like, Christmas Eve. That was it. You wouldn't do it, like, days before. But, hey, not our tradition. But, yeah, amazing. Like, we didn't really talk about the burglars, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, but they are freaking funny. So good together. Love that Joe Pesci. I think he's just everything he does, like every little expression, every like way he delivers those lines, like so funny to me.
How do you feel about Home Alone 2, Lost in New York?
I told you, like, I was like, what's the plot of that one again?
We saw it in the movie theater.
That's why I'm embarrassed. Like, it should be like a monumental moment.
It was at a birthday party.
Whose birthday?
Jessica, whatever.
Jennifer, that weird girl on my road?
Yeah, who had the Pretty Princess game.
And the Little Mermaid video game.
And the creepy dad.
Yes! He was totally like a child molester. That was weird. So it's this little girl's birthday. She took us to, Home Alone 2. And I guess that is, I mean, again, like, that's the Lost in New York one. Donald Trump is in it, remember? Only part I remember is the Feed the Birds, Tuppence a Bag rip off of the old lady. And is Tim Curry the like head of the hotel? Yeah.
It's
but why are Marv and
because they're like we're gonna
Harry there?
They like just got out of jail or whatever and decide that they like hitch a ride in like a fish truck and like get like I just remember they like come out of the cooler and there's like ice and like like someone has a fish on. I don't know.
I don't think John Hughes wrote that one.
And then
I think
Daniel Stern's like, now we're the sticky bandits, and he like puts tape on his mittens, and then like goes to the ice skating rink and like pulls people's shit off. Like, oh, I can't wait to sell this scarf for like $1.
Right again, why or how he's like Kevin stays in the hotel in New York. Oh,
he has his dad's wallet.
Yeah, he has his dad's wallet. Oh, and he fakes. Oh, my dad's checking in. He has that whole thing, and that's when the whole Talk Boy or whatever that thing was, where you would like, it was like a tape recorder, but you could like mess with your voice and make it like low or high.
Frank in the shower when he was singing. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. That could deserve a rewatch. I would do that. But yeah. So, couple trivia facts. Trivia. Okay, so another line that we forgot was the one where he breaks into or he goes into Buzz's room. He has this big chest of stuff, and he like pulls all this. He finds firecrackers, a Playboy, like baseball cards, like random shit. And then he finds a picture of his girlfriend, and he goes, "Buzz, your girlfriend, woof." Such a good line. I feel like I like use that all the time. Anyway. That picture is a boy dressed up as a girl because the director felt bad of making fun of a woman as being ugly. Yeah. So it's like the art director's son in like a blonde wig. Too funny, right? Oh man, I already like throughout I gave all the rest of mine. Damn.
We'll do your other segment.
Oh yeah. So my other this isn't a trivia fact, but I did learn today that this is a big Xmas movie. I mean, it's pretty big here, but like the number one Xmas movie in, drumroll please, Poland. Poland loves Kevin McAllister. Who knew? I mean, that's why we love it so much. We're like a little bit Polish. All right, we're starting a new segment here today on Large Marge Sent Us called Large Marge Alumni. Or is it alumnus? Alumni? Plural? What's alumnus? One? Alumna, Okay, I'm not going to play with the Latin anymore. So, Large Marge Alumni, we're going to go through people who appeared in this movie that have appeared in movies that we've already covered. So, number one, we got Buzz. Buzz is from what movie, sweetie?
Little Monsters.
Yeah. He is... what is that guy's name in Little Monsters?
He's our favorite.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman.
Drinks the pee.
Yes. Buzz.
Who pissed in my apple
Who
juice?
pissed in my... God. Yeah. So, go Buzz. You're good. The dad, John Hurd, is from Big. The nemesis in Big.
Give his name.
Yep.
Don't need to know.
Nope. Don't need to know. As already mentioned, Daniel Stern. Marv is the dad we hated in Little Monsters. And last but not least, John Candy as the polka king of the Midwest, featured in Uncle Buck. So, not bad. 4 in this one of all the movies we did.
Who I feel like I always confuse. I'm always like, wait, when does he sell the shower curtain rings as earrings? Because I mix it up with the part where the mom tries to pawn her earrings off.
That character is based off of that, because this is John Hughes and that was John Hughes. Yeah, so he said it was the same character. He told me.
John Candy's character?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so you good eye. Good eye.
Woo! Yeah, but he wasn't selling earrings like she was.
No, yeah, I know, but like that, his character of like a kind of goofy like guy telling weird stories.
I mean, he just does that in everything, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cool. What else?
I wanted to ask you, so you sang a little bit of the Home Alone theme song, written by the one, the only, John Williams, best movie composer, I think, on the planet. Got tapped to write this music because they didn't think he was going to do it. And then he saw a rough cut of this movie and was like, thought it was magical and was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to compose some shit for this movie. So he does like what's magical about it? I don't know. Like, I think it's more magical with the music. So go John Williams. So give us a little taste of the theme if you remember it.
Do 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 do. Na 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 na.
Yeah. So that little theme is called "Somewhere in My Memory."
Whoa, that's weird. I was gonna name that Christmas Memories. What are the odds? John Williams and I, but we're here. We're like this. We're together.
I was gonna call it "Tubular Bells."
That's the theme.
No, but I know it's the theme of The Exorcist. But I remember there'd be these commercials, and it would be a CD, and they'd be like, "Oh, on these like Christmas hits." I mean, this was like before like Wow 500, like those like compilation CDs. But it was like a CD, and then they would play all the songs, but then they would like the name of the songs would like scale down the TV, and they would like highlight the ones they were playing. So I just remember one was like Tubular Bells. It's like this like creepy bell music, but like modern versions of it. Are you looking up Tubular Bells?
This is all Exorcist, and this guy playing Tubular Bells with a ponytail.
What are tubular bells? Oh, they're just like I call those chimes. Why are they tubular bells?
Giant ones.
Why are they tubular bells? Because they're bells in the shape of tubes. Get it? Okay, that guy is creepy. It's like the longest ponytail I've ever seen. Ugh. This is tubular bells.
It's playing after that.
Oh, what? This is dumb. Okay, turn that off. We don't have time for that shit. We don't have time for your tubular bells. But yes. So that's all I got. I mean, this is I am not a tubular bell. I'm a circular, regular bell if I was a bell at all. Thank you.
Silver bell. Oh, I got it.
Oh, I'm scared. I can't go outside.
Your mother sucks cocks now.
Okay. Time to go. Once we pull out The Exorcist, the party is over.
Is the devil coming? Wait.
What?
Who's here?
Stop.
Hello, Emily.
Stop.
It's me, the devil.
Ah! You're not going to be able to talk tomorrow with that voice. You're a creepskate.
Yeah. Good throwback to the cheapskate line.
Creepskate. Okay, we're falling into giggles here. I think we got to cut this down. But hey, everybody! I know you've all seen Home Alone. It's a great movie. We all wanted to be Kevin McAllister at one point in our lives.
I didn't. He was a brat.
Yeah, he really came. He came around. Full circle. Character arc complete. Thanks for listening. This is our second Christmas movie. Hope we do a couple more. Christmas is like next week. 2 weeks? 1 week from Sunday? Shit. Okay, we got to get going. So we'll do a couple more. Don't you worry. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better listen to Large Marge. I'm telling you why.
Sweetie and Sweetie are the best. That's us.
Hey. Woo! Thanks for listening.